A very good evening and warm welcome to Eswatini TV News at 8. I'm Linda Masugu, and standing with me tonight is Nomatlabiso Kambule. Here are your headlines. The Minister of Economic Planning and Development says the International Convention Center and five-star hotel has not been pledged as collateral to the Republic of China on Taiwan as part of the agreement for the Exim Bank loan taken for its construction. The Ministry of Information, Communications and Technology is in a bid to ensure that Eswatini policies are evidence-based. Senate has debated performance and budget reports for government ministries. Well, let's get straight into the news in detail. The Minister of Economic Planning and Development, Dr. Tambo Gina, says the International Convention Center and five-star hotel has not been pledged as collateral to the Republic of China on Taiwan as part of the agreement for the Exim Bank loan taken for its construction. The minister clarified this during a press briefing at the Cabinet offices on Wednesday.
A question was raised by a member of parliament as to whether it is true or not that the Exim Bank from Taiwan loan for construction of the ICC and five-star terms and conditions include pledging the assets, the convention center and the hotel, that can be taken over by Taiwan in the event of default by government in servicing the loan. The response by the Minister for Economic Planning and Development was that it is not true. It's not true that the International Convention Center and five-star hotel have been pledged as collateral, and that the Minister had actually read the original agreement, and it does not contain any such requirements, and that the Minister is not aware of any other agreements with such conditions. But it can be categorically stated that the International Convention Center and five-star hotel lines of credit do not involve pledging of assets as collateral in accordance with the laws of the Kingdom of Eswatini, particularly the Public Finance Management Act. The government of the Kingdom of Eswatini, bilateral cooperation with the government of the Republic of China, Taiwan, which dates back to 1968, is above board and conforms to the Constitution and the country's laws.
The Ministry of Information, Communications and Technology is in a bid to ensure that Eswatini policies are evidence-based. Part of doing this is educating enumerators about the data collection to inform policy. The workshop was held at the National Archives in Lobamba on Wednesday.
This workshop was officially opened by Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Communications and Technology, Pesheya Dube. Dube said they are conducting this training in collaboration with the African Union. Dube said this may seem like a tall order, but experience from other regions of the world indicates that it can be done. Director of Science, Technology and Innovation in the Ministry of ICT, Rejoice Masego, explains more.
We are saying, help us to collect data that can be used for developing evidence-based policies. So that is why we are saying this is historic in its nature, and this is phase 4. Actually, we are in phase 4. Why phase 4 in terms of collecting the data? It's because previously we were using the 3rd edition of the Oslo manual for the data collection, but now we are going to use the 4th edition. Hence, we are going to collect more data, especially in the industries and also in the communities.
By the data collected after the training will lay a firm foundation for strengthening the national system of innovation.
The Principal Secretary in the Deputy Prime Minister's office, Melosi Masugu, says it is encouraging to see the Eswatini Public Procurement Agency, ESPPRA, training people with disabilities on procurement to ensure their effective participation. The Principal Secretary was represented by the Director of Social Welfare, Nkusi Shongwe, during the agency's inclusive public procurement workshop conducted in collaboration with the World Bank. The 3-day workshop is held at the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund building in Mbabane.
According to the Deputy Prime Minister's office, there are over 100,000 people living with disabilities in the country. The Eswatini Public Procurement Agency has stated that the workshop is meant to break down the barriers faced by this minority sector, and this has been applauded by the Deputy Prime Minister's office.
Allow me to mention that this training exercise will help to close some of the existing gaps in the tendering process and equip participants with skills and technical know-how on how to secure funding for successful implementation of projects aimed at poverty alleviation.
The Secretary General of the Federation of Eswatini People Living with Disabilities says for a long time they have been marginalized. He says such an opportunity will help them participate in society on an equal basis with others.
Esikhathini esiningi vele etintweni abantu abakhobatekile basalele emuva. Ngiko nje na ungabuka abantu abakhobatekile ngabo labeswele kakhulu. Na ubuka nje abantu abakhobatekile labeswele even labakhobatekile bathatha inombolo lesedulu. Ngaye sizathu sekuthi vele sinenkinga nasekucashweni.
World Bank country representative Wakile Mkonza says the rising inequality with regard to basic services results in this minority sector of society falling behind, as evidenced by the low rate of employment, which makes this exercise important.
We need to find ways to engage partners like this constituency here, persons with disabilities. So when I see that we have a workshop that's about how we can include them, I think this is quite good and it's already giving effect to our strategy.
All sectors of people living with disabilities have been represented in the workshop, which will run until Friday. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Ngamandla, Muzimkhonda, Mbabane.
The Ministry of National Defense Senate Portfolio Committee has asked the House to pass the ministry's 1.2 billion Malangeni budget. The committee says the Defense Force has to invest in highly advanced technology, including having drones. The Defense Force has been advised to also seek assistance from countries like Israel.
This report is for the Ministry of National Defense and Security and addresses its annual performance for the year 2022-2023 and budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024. The report states that the committee applauded the work done by the army during the unrest. The committee said the military must partner with the Israeli army, who have advanced special skills in border security. It said that country can assist in training local soldiers in aspects of border security. The committee said the country must invest in highly advanced technology equipment for the army like drones. It said these drones will help detect illegal intruders into the country without declaring purchased goods with the intention of avoiding tax payment. The committee also said in some countries soldiers are motivated by being given incentives ranging from allowances, good accommodation, and enough food. The members said this must be the case even in Eswatini. The ministry was encouraged to work with the Eswatini Revenue Services to deal with tax defaulters. It was also encouraged to look into the army recruitment process. The ministry said there are structures in place for background checks for aspiring military officers. Vetting will also be strengthened. The ministry further said it was currently looking into the issue of compensation. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosima Vimbela with Temba Shabangu. Babani.
The Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy hereby informs the public that the price of unleaded petrol 95 will increase by 50 cents per litre, whilst the price of diesel and illuminating paraffin will decrease by 40 cents per litre and 30 cents per litre, respectively. The new fuel prices shall come into effect on the midnight Thursday, 30th March 2023, that is effective on Friday, the 31st of March 2023. The unleaded petrol price increase is a result of the high increase in the international petrol prices. As a result, unleaded petrol is carrying an under-recovery deficit, hence necessitating a price increase. The Brent crude oil prices remain turbulent as the crude oil prices declined due to the surging crude oil inventories. The crude oil prices traded at an average of $79.70 a barrel compared to an average of $84.15 a barrel realized in the month of February 2023. The Lilangeni dollar exchange rate weakened and averaged 18.35 cents in the month of March 2023 as compared to the 17.76 cents realized in the month of February 2023. The new fuel prices will therefore be as follows. The price of unleaded petrol will increase by 50 cents per litre from 20.30 cents per litre to 20.80 cents per litre. The diesel price will decrease by 40 cents per litre from 22.40 cents per litre to 22 per litre. The illuminating paraffin price will decrease by 30 cents per litre from 16.45 cents per litre to 16.15 cents per litre. The ministry encourages the public to use fuel efficiently as the international oil markets and the Lilangeni dollar exchange rate remains highly volatile. This press statement has been released by Sicelo Nxumalo, the acting principal secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy. Senate has debated performance and budget reports for government ministries. Issues that sparked the debate include a recommendation that government should fund grade 0. However, the House dismissed this motion.
Senators minced no words when dismissing this recommendation.
Because the state will collapse if we keep on adding. Parents
angathi vele sikwazi kupasa siphi noma kwasiphunywa kanjani ngale kwaloko ungathi mkhulu umthwalo lesethusa uhulumende wona
uthi uNkulunkulu dala nani nanze kwabese umhlaba but akasho ukuthi dala nani nanze in such a way ukuthi uzuhlule kumthwalo wakho.
Another matter that was a topic of discussion was the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, whose budget was put in Head 60 by the House of Assembly.
In the Ministry of Housing, there was the issue which has been in the papers recently around the 12 million spent on elections, the municipal elections. There was discomfort around that, around the process, around the amount that was spent, as well as there's also discomfort around certain civil servants that sit on municipality boards, claiming that one civil servant sit maybe on 4 different boards. And so just to understand, the money is not gone, the money has gone to Head 60. They were saying, please bring us clarity on these 2 issues. Once clarity is provided, the money will come back out of Head 60.
At the time of compiling this report, the House was still in session. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosima Vimbela with Temba Shabangu, Parliament.
3 children aged 9 years have died on the spot at Mkhondo after being hit by a car. Chief Police Information and Communications Officer Superintendent Pindile Vlagati confirmed the incident, stating that a male driver who was driving a Toyota lost control of the car and veered off the road, hitting the 3 children. 36 trainees have graduated under the Business Women Eswatini European Union Eswatini Industrial Textile Program. Speaking during the graduation ceremony at Far East Textiles in Matsapa, the chairperson of Business Women Eswatini, Toki Hau, has said their aim is to train more than 100 people under the program covering all sectors of society.
The chairperson says they are also supporting men under the program to ensure that no one is left behind as they try to better the lives of all Emaswati.
We are trying to empower as many women in the Kingdom of Eswatini as we can. We are trying to build and have the textile industry grow in the Kingdom of Eswatini because that is where we see things happening. That is where we see women of all different types gaining benefit from this program.
Business Eswatini's Chief Executive Officer Nathi Dlamini says empowering women is one of the most effective means to drive progress on gender equality.
If we don't empower the women as we ought to, the gender-based violence will increase. Because I will say it again, I said it before, there is nothing as dangerous as a woman who's economically empowered. I have never seen a husband touch a woman who is economically independent. They are taking advantage of these women because they've got nowhere to go.
The graduates have said the training has provided them with a skilled foundation to start their businesses. Others have said they will now be able to expand their businesses. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Matsapa.
Civic voter education proceeded well at Lozita on Wednesday. Lozita residents wanted to know from the Elections and Boundaries Commission about people staying in an area than being eligible to vote. The residents say people should vote in their areas of origin.
The Constitution of the Kingdom of Eswatini states that every Liswati above the age of 18 is eligible to vote. Also eligible to vote are Emaswati who have stayed in a certain area for at least 3 months. Lozita residents are not for this idea.
Uma uhleli 3 months so uvumelekile ukuvota. Bese kusilana sebabhalisa labantu. Abasabhalisi lapho bahlala khona. Ndawubekisa. Sinebantu abachashile lamakhaya ikakhulu lapho. Kodwa labo bantu labo ababhalisi la kaLozitha. Khaza sebathwala amakhumbi bawuvota bomanzini bawuvota kuphi kuphi.
Sekunalo 3 months. Ukuthi umuntu nawahlala 3 months uyikhulumile babe chairperson la. Kuthi hey kuyahlupha lokho.
Itolo lesikwatile sifundiswe kona sive ukuthi umntana enkosi nesikhulu abalungeneli lukhetho lungenelwa luqalwa indvuna engakhetho inconywe iye elukhethweni.
The Elections and Boundaries Commission responded to this issue.
Libandla layithola lenzaba bonkosi lelekhala kakhulu ukuthi yini lo muntu anikwe 3 months sitabe sesimadingani kahle kahle. 3 months nje so wenele ukuthi sangabhalisela ukuthi utawuvotela la noma simvotele la. Libandla lakuthatha lokho bekunene ukhazile dzadzewethu nakasafundzisa nanyalo sikhona sincomo lesendiwe ngilo libandla. Sincomo sithi ke malangeni asimane lesikhathi sikhule kumane kube tinyanga letisithupha hayi letinyanga letintathu. Section 88 wemthetho wesisekelo welive lakuqaleni nje uthi lesitamvumela ngiloliswati kwesibili ngilona 18 years kuya eTulu. Lokusho ukuthi nabo sihlala nabo emangweni babantu abenkosi bangemaswati. Longakavumeleki bonkosi kuyaye kube yena ngubabe chief.
The commission is expected to continue with civic voter education throughout the Kingdom of Eswatini. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosima Vimbela with Temba Shabangu, Lozita.
Let's take a look at the financial indicators.
it can be.
In your sports roundup, we begin with this story. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Peggy Kama, says school sports games play a vital role in assisting pupils in their academic work. Kama was speaking during the National Athletics School Sports Games grand finale at the Mavuso Sports Center.
And in our sports news, we begin with the Principal Secretary in the